Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk all about designing kitchens on a budget and those small changes you can make to your own kitchen or a rental kitchen on a very small budget, because there's some great things that you can do that make such a big impact and almost make it worthwhile to save rather than splurge on a brand new one. So I'm going to talk through a few different examples of things you can do and then show you 1 to 2 projects that I've seen that look amazing. I also just want to disclose that all of these images have the sources listed below them, and I will link right to that photo in the description box in case you are wanting to save that picture to your inspiration board or want to know more about that particular design. I also just want to mention that many of these images that I have used are just for inspiration. Most of them were not projects done on a budget, but definitely inspired me to think outside of the box and how could I redo my kitchen while using that inspiration. However, there are a few examples where there were DIYs and kitchen renos done on a budget that I will also talk about. So the first thing that we're going to focus on is cabinetry, because cabinetry truly makes such a big impact in your kitchen. So upgrading your cabinetry or making changes to it is really going to make the biggest impact possible. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is a company called Semi Handmade. I've never worked with this company at all. I just came across them the other day and I thought it was amazing. So their whole concept is kind of upgrading your IKEA cabinetry. So they make door fronts that go on IKEA cabinetry, whether it's old, whether it's new. They have so many designs and styles that truly make your space look way more expensive and upgrade the whole look. The second thing that is very obvious, I think, is painting your cabinetry. So if I were to do this, which I might do in the spring, I would use a paint sprayer. I bought one on Amazon. I have to say it was under $150 to refinish some furniture. If you haven't seen that video, there is a video on my channel about that. And that is how I would paint my kitchen cabinetry. However, if you want to go a cheaper route, using a foam roller would also be a great option. There's also some great primers from Zinsser and other companies. I'm not going to go into too much detail because that would be a whole video in itself, but there are some great ways to refinish your cabinetry and change the entire look, whether it's wood, whether it's already painted. You just can repaint it and make it look incredible. The second thing I'm going to talk about is refacing or adding some millwork trim to your existing cabinet. So if you have a completely flat front cabinetry in your kitchen, you can easily add shaker style to those cabinets or add some other detailing to make them look a little more unique or interesting. There's also some great examples where people added shaker style to their existing cabinets that maybe didn't have a plain front. So if you look on Google or on Pinterest, there's so many great examples, so I definitely recommend you checking that out because that's another way to make your cabinetry look way better. Another great thing that you can do in your kitchen is to create open shelving by just removing the doors from your cabinet. So I wouldn't recommend doing this in your whole kitchen, but in this example, you can see how either sides of the range, they've taken off the doors and made open shelving, and I think that that looks amazing. I think it's a way to change it up. You'll see another few examples in later pictures where they've done the same thing, and I think it's such a simple thing to do and make a great impact. In this example particularly, they have replaced the regular melamine white shelving with some wood ones to make it look a little more custom and unique. You can see in this example they've done the same thing, but now we're talking about backsplashes. So this is an account that I follow on Instagram, Pretty on the Pines. She lives in New York and this is her rental apartment. She made some really great budget-friendly and renter-friendly changes to her space. And in the kitchen, they applied a sticky tile to their backsplash. She's actually moving from her current apartment right now and had to pull it off. It came off with no trouble at all. And again, it was a great way to just make a larger impact in that space. So she was able to do that. I think that is a great option to consider if you don't want to rip out your backsplash. Of course, if you did rip out your backsplash, that's also a great option just to replace the tile, but it's a little harder. You need a little more skill and not as budget friendly. This is another example that I'm likely to consider for my own kitchen, where they've put vertical shiplap as a backsplash. I think that this looks really nice. It depends on your vibes of your house, but I kind of like the style of how this looks, so I would definitely consider doing that. And you can also see they also did the same thing here where they removed the door and created open shelving, and it looks great. In this kitchen, you can see that they used a beadboard as the backsplash. That's another great option. I don't know if it's as easy to install as shiplap, because shiplap are individual boards that you place, whereas the beadboard would be more in sheets, so it's a little more challenging, but I think that the price point might be cheaper than shiplap. So I'm just going to start off by pointing out the island. In this space, they have a regular tile backsplash, but they did put the vertical shiplap around the island, and I think that that is also a great example of how you could upgrade or update your kitchen. So now I want to focus on lighting, because lighting is another thing that is going to make a big impact to your kitchen. So if you have pendant lights in your space and you don't like them, you can easily switch them out. There's some really great options out there. I know I just picked some pendant lights for a space that were around $100 and they looked amazing. So there's some great options out there for that. One of my favorite ideas is adding a wall sconce, whether it's above a sink or even above some floating shelves. There is a really great hack that you can use that allows you to install a wall sconce where you don't have electricity. You don't have to use wiring, you don't have to have a plug, you just use a puck light. If you Google it or even look on Pinterest, there's a few different ways of doing this, but the basic concept is you have a threaded piece that would thread or screw into your sconce, and then you glue a puck light to it. And the puck light is battery operated, and you use a remote control to turn it on, and it makes the space look so much more elegant, but you don't need any wiring. And there's so many great sconces out there that you can buy for under $150, so definitely worth considering. Here is another example of where there is some beautiful shiplap as the backsplash. I think this is my favorite inspiration image for this. And I'll also just point out another thing that would make a big impact and also relates to the cabinetry and backsplash area is replacing out your knobs and pulls for your cabinetry. I've seen some people who've painted them and they've had really great results. I think they painted them black and then used rub and buff to make them gold, and those were holding up really well for them. I would personally go the route of just purchasing new ones just so I didn't have to worry about the chipping, but again, it would make such a big impact, and if you found them at a place that was relatively a good price, again, a great way to just upgrade your kitchen. But the thing that I mostly want to talk about in this space is the shelving. So I really love the shelving that they've done in this space, but there's lots of different types of shelving, such as in this example where they've got the floating shelves. So you could take down some cabinetry and just put in floating shelves. You can buy them at IKEA or on Amazon. It's really inexpensive and it looks great, especially if you are comfortable with filling the holes and taking down the cabinetry, or even putting the sticky tile or a shiplap up the back behind the shelving. Here's one more example where they took out the cabinetry. They just did it in the corner. I don't know for sure that they had cabinets there, but that's what I'm envisioning in my mind, and I think that that looks amazing. This is one of my favorite kitchen DIY examples. So I've been following Reagan from The Blooming Nest for a few years. Her and her husband always do some great DIY, so this is one of my favorites. You can see in the bottom corner picture, they used to have a microwave with an exhaust for their range, and then they switched it out and made a custom millwork design range cover on a budget. The whole DIY is linked in my description box. They did all the steps and it is amazing. And this is also the same example I used earlier where someone took the cabinet doors off of their cabinetry and made open shelving, and I think it looks amazing. So this is a great example for a budget-friendly, renter-friendly floor upgrade. Maybe you have tiles in your kitchen or just a flooring that you don't love. So Chris Loves Julia did these vinyl sticky tiles in their kids' bathroom, and I linked it in the description box. She talks about how they did it. It looks really great. She also covered it on Instagram if you check her story highlights. And also, I didn't put up a picture here, but Reagan from The Blooming Nest did a similar thing where she did a painted stencil flooring in her laundry room and bathroom, and those also turned out really well. So both are great options. Of course, painting the tile isn't an option if you're renting, but the sticky tile definitely is. let's talk accessories. So another great way to just upgrade your kitchen is change out accessories. So changing out things like the rug, changing out other decorative items, a new vase with some stems, some new bowls, some cutting boards, just things like that just makes such a huge difference. When you look at designers styling kitchens for different projects, you will see they've got all of the different accessories out and they just look amazing, and it makes your kitchen look so much more expensive. So if you are on a budget, that is a great thing to do. Facebook Marketplace and different thrift stores also have some great things. So if you are truly on a budget, I'm sure you can find some really great things out there. This is one of my favorite kitchen renos on a budget. So this is by Chris Loves Julia. If you don't follow them on Instagram, that is a great account to follow. They did this kitchen, I think for under $1,000. I will link the whole project in the description box, but they've definitely taken into consideration some of the things that I mentioned, such as painting cabinetry. They changed out their pendants. Another thing that I forgot to mention was switching out your faucet and things like that. So they switched out their faucet, they changed their knobs, they added the shiplap as their backsplash, they added some shelving, and I just love what they did. You can also see the use of accessories. They've got a little piece of art, they've got a nice cutting board, a bowl of some fruit. So those are just some really great examples. That's all from me, guys. I try to keep these videos short and sweet, but I hope you enjoyed some of these ideas on how you could renovate your kitchen on a budget, whether you just moved into a home and you want to just do some little minor facelift changes, or you're renting and you can't do too much, but you want to make the space a little more you. These ideas are definitely great for you. I know we are considering using a lot of these different ideas for our kitchen. We're planning to hopefully renovate this summer when the weather's a little warmer and I can use the backyard as my painting area. But if we do end up doing that, definitely come back and check out my videos. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'd really appreciate if you did subscribe. I try to put out design videos with different design ideas and design themed videos on Wednesdays and Sundays. I always put out a vlog with what I'm up to, including different DIYs and hacks and things that I'm working on in my house. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.